Good morning, Columbia. Today is Tuesday, September 13th. A string of shootings leading to 3 arrests. Why the Columbia Police Department says there is still much to be done and why they're asking for your help. Plus the latest from the campaign trail. Hillary Clinton finally speaking out about questions concerning her health. And the stars are back and officially kicking up their heels on Dancing with the Stars. But not without some scary moments when protesters interrupt the live broadcast. Good Morning Columbia starts right now.
From ABC Columbia News, live from Main and Gervais, this is Good Morning Columbia.
Good morning, Columbia. Thanks for waking up with us on this Tuesday morning. Hope you're getting off to a good start. I'm Rochelle Dean.
And I'm Grace Joyle. We're live from Main and Gervais. Your time now, 6 o'clock. Much different scene outside than we were experiencing yesterday.
Completely night and day when you compare the two, and for good reason. Today, much clearer outside. Looks like we're shaping up for a little bit better of a day. But yesterday, pop-up storms that caused a lot of problems for drivers out there.
That's right. We had several reports of downed trees on roads in Orangeburg County. Let's turn things over to meteorologist Jonathan Kennedy to see if we can expect something similar today. Jonathan, good morning.
And good morning. A drier start to your day today. We did see a couple downed trees yesterday. Obviously, some of that footage there. I did see a lot of rain, which softens up the soil. Any kind of wind can easily knock over a few trees when the soil is that soft. But we're seeing a damp setup, but not a wet one this morning. We're looking at a humid start, and that is going to lead us more towards fog as opposed to seeing any kind of new rain anytime soon. We'll see temperatures in the lower 70s, couple spots in the 60s. And those are the areas we're going to really keep an eye on for that dense fog. Camden, visibility around a mile. Saluda, half mile right now. Manning, 1.5. Bishopville, less than a mile as well. So kind of those outer lying areas seeing more of the issue with the fog as opposed to downtown. But anywhere, especially those low lying areas along the rivers where that humidity is going to be a little bit higher, you can always see some fog develop pretty quickly. 87 for your high this afternoon. We'll see a chance for a few rain showers and thunderstorms, but all in all, doesn't look quite as rainy as the forecast did yesterday.
All right, well, that's good news.
Yeah,
a little bit drier. Yes. We want to give you a quick traffic update as you get ready to head out the door this morning.
Here are some trouble spots you should be watching for. South Carolina Highway Patrol reporting debris in the road on Interstate 26.
And this is at mile marker 97 in the eastbound lanes. Of course, we're watching the roads, and we'll update you if anything else changes.
ABC Columbia News wants to help you jumpstart your Tuesday.
That's right. Here's a quick rundown of your top morning headlines. We get started this morning with a rash of gun violence in Columbia and Richland County that has top law enforcement officials saying enough is enough. The police chief and the sheriff teaming up and making arrests. So far, they have been able to link 3 suspects to a series of recent shooting investigations. Markleton Stevens has been charged with attempted murder, possession of a weapon during a violent crime, and breach of peace. Police say a collection of evidence and firearms is what led them to the suspects. And if it weren't for the forensic examination completed by the sheriff's department, they wouldn't have been able to connect the dots. For that reason, CPD Chief Skip Holbrook says the outbreak of gang violence is a vital time for the community effort, and there's still much more to be done.
Gang members who are victims of a shooting or a robbery, they don't want to talk. What happens then is you have multiple shootings in retaliation. That puts all of us at danger. That's why the community needs to be up in arms about what's going on.
Well, the Columbia Police Department still has more than a dozen recent shooting incidents under investigation. If you know anything that can help, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 1-888-CRIME-SC.
He was shot by a former South Carolina trooper during a 2014 traffic stop, and now LeVar Jones is asking that officer get the maximum possible sentence. During a rally at the State House last night, Jones called on Solicitor Dan Johnson to punish Sean Grubert to the fullest extent of the law. Grubert can be seen on dashcam video shooting Jones during a traffic stop on Broad River Road. Grubert pleaded guilty to assault and battery back in March.
It turns into more of a out of sight, out of mind situation, and it was also with more attention to other nationwide incidents and events. I might have got a little mixed up in the shuffle a little bit.
The solicitor's office is now waiting on a judge to set a sentencing date. An argument over drug money led to a shooting in Kershaw County. Sheriff Jim Matthews says 19-year-old Laquel Robinson is charged with attempted murder, accused of shooting a man in the back. Investigators say the victim owed Robinson money for drugs when he was shot 3 weeks ago. Richland County Sheriff's deputies need your help finding this suspect. Police say he entered a business off Two Notch Road, pulled out a gun, and demanded cash from an employee. The suspect then took the money and ran from the scene. If you know anything about this case, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 1-888-CRIME-SC.
Richland County deputies are looking for a missing 16-year-old this morning. Investigators say Denasia Young was last seen by family members a week ago at her home on Lewis Scott Court in Eastover. And deputies say she has a medical condition that is a cause for concern. If you know where Denasia is, call the Richland County Sheriff's Department. And a joyride ended early for a Sumter County 2-year-old over the weekend. Deputies say in the wee hours of Sunday morning, a woman found a 2-year-old driving a miniature battery-powered BMW down Rogers Avenue. The woman called deputies who followed the tracks back to the child's home. A spokesperson for the Sheriff's Department says the child's parents were surprised when deputies showed up at their door with their son. The South Carolina Bar wants to help you know the law. The organization is hosting an Ask a Lawyer program. It coordinates volunteer lawyers to help the public with legal questions on a statewide web chat. That's taking place between 5 and 6:30 tonight. The public is encouraged to visit that website, sebar.org/AAL. You can engage in a free one-on-one chat with South Carolina attorneys during that time.
It is our duty to fight for freedom.
Faith leaders and activists gathered at the State House yesterday to call for lawmakers on both sides of the aisle to move closer to the middle. Activists say extremist policies only benefit the few.
This is why we raise our voices together to ask our elected officials to make decisions with a heart for all people of this great state. That's right. And not base decisions with an eye on positions and prestige, nor with gains in your own wallets.
This event was one of 50 held at state capitals across the nation yesterday.
Recognition of the anniversary of the September 11th attacks continued yesterday. Yesterday, Midland's residents came together to remember the lives lost on the horrific day. The town of Lexington hosted its annual Standing for Our Heroes ceremony at the county's memorial dedicated to the victims. The service is a collaborative effort among law enforcement, fire service, EMS, and area pastors.
The only way we will triumph over terrorism and conquer the senseless tragedy of that horrible day is by remembering all the Americans that lost their life that day, and by celebrating the American spirit, which burns in all of us, in the way of life which makes us the greatest nation on earth.
For a look at September 11th events that took place here in the Midlands over the weekend, you can head to our website, abccolumbia.com.
The United States is engaging in some saber rattling directed at North Korea. The U.S. sent 2 nuclear-capable supersonic bombers streaking over ally South Korea in a show of force. The act is a warning to North Korea after its recent nuclear test, and also to settle nerves in South Korea. Such flyovers are common when tensions rise on the Korean peninsula. President Obama spent part of his Monday meeting with congressional leaders on both sides of the aisle. Discussion included efforts to avoid a government shutdown past the end of the current fiscal year on September 30th. Lawmakers are looking to pass a stopgap measure aimed at funding the government through at least December. The measure could include emergency funding for fighting the Zika virus. Certainly some big issues that we will continue to follow as they develop.
That's right. Still to come, we are taking a look at the race to the White House.
A war of words between the presidential candidates, plus the latest on Hillary Clinton's health.
And a nice warm start to your Tuesday. A little humid for us, a few clouds, and temperatures in the low 70s to get your day started. Bring the umbrella as you head out the door because you may need it later this afternoon. Stay with us. We're live from Main and Gervais.